Welcome back to the Garza Gaming Channel. In today's video, we're going to talk about what I think is going to be the very best Beastmaster build to go into Phase 2, right? I'm going to discuss the runes I'm going to use going into Phase 2, the talents that I'm going to be purchasing in the new talent tree, right? Because we're getting 31 points to spend, and I'm going to show you the order that I'm going to buy them then, the pet that I think is going to be king in Phase 2 of Season of Discovery, and then I'm going to share with you my theory on a rune that we might get, and if we get this rune, it's going to take Beastmastering DPS to a whole nother level. Now we got a lot to cover, so let's not waste any more time. Let's get into it. Okay, so let's talk runes. So the runes that I'm going to start off with Phase 2, because obviously we don't know what runes we're getting in Phase 2 or where their locations are starting out, is going to be Heart of the Lion, Beast Mastery, and Kill Command. For some reason, if you're one of those hunters that still have not gotten Heart of the Lion, you need to hurry up and go get it. But you can always substitute Master Marksman, and if you're a weaving type hunter, you can always substitute Kill Command for Flanking Strike. Okay, let's talk about the talents. And these talents are going to be used when you're either soloing or in group form. And I think they're going to allow you to do some really nice DPS. So what I'm going to end up doing is maxing out my endurance training first. Then I'm going to max out thick hide. And then what I'm going to end up doing is putting 2 points in improved aspect of the hawk. Now, the reason I didn't put any points in improved revive pet is simply because even in Phase 1, my pet hardly ever dies, especially when I'm soloing or I'm in a group. And if my pet does ever die, that means that all heck just broke loose, and the chances of me even being able to cast a revive on my pet, even with a shortened time frame, is just impractical in most cases. So I'm going to go skip that from now. And then what I'm going to end up doing is putting 5 in Unleash Fury. And then I'm going to max out Frenzy, or Ferocity, I should say. Okay, now from here, what I'm going to end up doing is putting 2 points in Bestial Discipline. This is going to help to make up for some of the focus regeneration that we ended up losing in the nerf that we saw in Phase 1. Now, with that, I'm going to go back now and go ahead and max out my Aspect of the Hawk. And then I'm going to go ahead and put only 3 points in Frenzy, not 4, 3, right? And the reason being is with 3 points, it's going to give you a 60% chance to gain that 30% attack speed for 8 seconds. Now, 8 seconds is a lifetime, right? So the chances that this is going to stay up for the most part with only a 60% chance of proccing is really high. So I think that adding an extra point to make it 80% is just going to be a waste of point, to tell you the truth. Okay, so from here, you have 2 choices, right? You can either go Intimidation or you can go Revive Pet. I personally am going to go Intimidation, and then I'll put 1 point in Revive Pet, and then finish it off with the big dog Bestial Wrath. So I think that this build is going to be the most efficient, allowing you to go from level 25 to 40 that much faster, especially if you're soloing a lot, or even if you're going to be grouping up. I think that this build is going to allow you to do some really high DPS, especially if we get the rune that we're going to talk about that I'm theorized that we might get at the end of this video, so make sure you stick around. But let's talk about pets. Okay, so let's talk pets. Even with the added 20% focus that we get with this new talent tree, I still think that Wind Serpents are going to be performing below cats. So I think in Phase 2, at least as we know it right now, unless there's some really crazy rune changes or, big nerfs to cats, I believe that the 2.0 attack speed cat is still going to reign king in Phase 2 of Season of Discovery. But as you can see, in Phase 2, we're going to get some really awesome new talents in the talent tree that's going to just take Beastmasters to a whole different level. But with that said, there's one rune out there that if we get this rune, if I'm correct on this rune, it's going to take this build to a whole nother level. And that rune is the Beast Within, increasing all damage you deal by 10%, and while your pet is under the effects of Bestial Wrath, which is the new talent we're going to get at the end of our talent tree at level 40, you also go into a rage, causing 10% additional damage and reducing the mana cost of all your spells by 50% for 10 seconds. And while you're enraged, just like your pet, you don't feel any pity or remorse or fear, and you cannot be stopped unless killed. I think that if we get this Rune, that is going to take this build to a whole nother level, and is going to just totally increase the DPS BMs are pushing out. So that is the build that I'm going to be using going into phase 2 of Season of Discovery. Now, keep in mind that, you know, anything can change at any time. We don't know what runes we're getting. We don't know what nerfs we're getting. And we don't know if there's going to be a change to the talent tree going into phase 2 of Season of Discovery. So take this build with a grain of salt. But if everything stands the way it is, at least until we can find some of the newer runes, right? This is definitely the rollout that I'm going to be using in phase 2 of Season of Discovery. Okay, so don't forget, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications so you don't miss any future videos. And if you're a Beastmaster that has different thoughts on the build, put it down in the comments down below. I'd love to see what you're going to be rolling with in phase 2 of Season of Discovery. Again, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I'm Garza, your OG on the GC. See you next time.